Hi, this is Marek from Tryb Solo, and today I'd like to show you a game called HEXplore It Volume II, The Forests of Adrimon. This is a long title. HEXplore It is a series of fantasy adventure games where every game from the series is a standalone game. The fourth volume was founded on GameFound this year. And will be, sent to backers next year. But there are already 3 volumes that you can get that are, ready and finished and in your local game stores probably. So HEXplore It, as I said, is an adventure, fantasy adventure game. It's not a campaign game. Every time you play it, it will be like one-time adventure. And in the volume 2, the action takes place in forests, where some time ago the elves, they lived in the forest. Then they left the forest and it was inhabited by different, races, creatures and nations. But one day a portal opened and a mage, female mage called Adrimon, she came from the portal and she, brainwashed all the creatures and people and different races that inhabited the forest with the use of magic. And she's the bad person and we are the mighty heroes. One hero, it depends with how many people you play the game. Your task is to defeat Adrimon and free the forest from her bad magic. The story is not very, unique. You probably played a lot of games where there's the bad guy and you have to defeat it. But the game is quite unique as a whole, and you will see it in the unboxing, and then I will also tell you more about the whole series and about this game specifically in the summary at the end of the video. You can play this game from 1 to 6 people, and as I said, there is no campaign, no scenarios. Every game is like a one-time adventure. So let's do the unboxing. I will show you all the components, and then we will be back here to so you can hear what I have to say about the whole series. The video maybe will be quite long, but it's worth seeing. So let's do the unboxing. So let's open the Forests of Adrimon. The box is quite big and quite heavy. It's full of content. You will see it in a second. The first thing that we will see after opening the box is advertisement for the next game from the series, The Sand of Shurax, Volume 3. It has more like a desert settings, quite cool. And what do we have inside? The first thing is the rule book. It's not big, but it's quite thick. It got 84, 5, 6, 86 pages. So there are a lot of things that you have to learn before playing the game, and I recommend reading this rulebook because it covers all the mechanics and all the options that you have in the game. So it seems like a lot. After playing the game at least once, you will understand most of the things that are written here. But the beginning in HEXplore It are not easy because there are a lot of things that you have to learn. Storybook. This is a great addition because it's a separate booklet that contains all the additional story fragments and stories for this game. And if you want to play like more story focused like game, you can read specific paragraphs in different moments of the game, like when you enter a city or when you enter a battle site, waypost triggers, and you read a specific fragment and it gives you more story, more background. Like you see a lot of things to read. It's great. There is a lot of story on the cards here, but this adds another level of history of Adrimon. Really great thing. Next thing that we have here, we have races, and you combine races with classes to create your character. you had different races, and here you have different specific modifiers to different skills. A lot of options. If you combine all the races with all the classes, you have a lot of options to create your character. Here you have the relics that you need to find to have a chance to fight Adrimon. The relics are hidden in battle sites, but in order to get a relic, you need to complete all the fragments of a specific relics. You will see the fragments card in a second. So they have special abilities and they help you to fight Adrimon. And in every game you use 4 of these relics and 2 are left out. And here we have a lot of cards, a lot of boards. Okay, first we have the classes. So you have a lot of classes. They have really nice art on the back. You can see how the characters look like. Very cool. And you have different abilities, different skills, vitals like your health and energy. Here you have a space to write down all the equipment, because this is a little like in RPG. This is cool because these are dry erase sheets, so you can write on it. So when you create your character, you have to write down your name, then you have to write the numbers of your skills. So it's 2, it's 1, it's 2, and equipment. So during the game you have to write everything down, but you can erase it when you advance and have better skills or abilities. You can just erase it and change the number. So it's really fun. It's like playing RPG, traditional RPG games, where you have your character sheet and you have to write everything down. Okay, here we also have the miniature for your party, because in this game you don't move around the map separately, but all the players move together as a party, make decisions together, but in the combat you have your own characters and you fight as individuals. So this is the miniature for your party, and some tokens as well. What do we have next? Next we have all the bosses, the most difficult enemies. Every boss has its level, a lot of special abilities, and rewards that you get when you defeat it. So they have nice illustrations here. And the higher the level, the more dangerous the boss. And this is the final one, Adrimon, that you have to defeat. She's got 120 health. It's crazy. She's a very tough enemy. Here is Battle Mat, a special board where you write down the health and energy of your enemies. You write down everything during the battles. You have also space for checking which equipment your group has and a lot of other things. So you use these markers to write down everything in this game. Some special conditions, reference sheet, and you have 4 reference sheets for different things in the game. The first one is it explains all the game turns, movement, then skill, then is the circumstance phase, event phase, and villain phase. So it's a nice help, because you can, if you know how to play the game, you don't have to check the rulebook, but this is something that is enough. You can have it on the table, and all the informations are here. Here are the sentinels, the mechs that Adrimon creates to protect the battle sites and relics, entrance cities, places where you can go and look for gear and loot. Battle sites where you have to go to reforge the relics. Waypost, these are like shops where you can buy different things. And 11th Grove is a like magical realm where you can go. And then you can sell your dark relics if you get one. You can also buy additional stuff but not for gold like in wayposts, but you have to use special seeds that you can harvest during the game. So as you can see, a lot of options, a lot of things that you have to know, remember and check during the game. As I said, this is not an easy game, but when you play it, it becomes easier. Here are the map tiles. I will not show you every one of them. You create the map from these tiles. You have hexes and you move your group from hex to hex. You have different things here like bosses, cities, battle sites, and yeah, it looks really nice. It reminds me a little of Mage Knight, but this game is not similar to Mage Knight. Mage Knight is a Euro game in disguise that looks like a fantasy game, and this is a pure 100% adventure RPG game with a lot of story and a lot of adventures and quests and everything. This is a miniature for Adrimon city. You place it on the map in a random location, and this is where Adrimon stays. You have to go there and defeat her. So from the very start, beginning of the game, where she stays. So when you think you are ready, you can go and challenge her. Here we have the dice, a lot of them. The game is for 1 to 6 players, so we have dice for everyone. Okay, let me take this one here. You have green, this is navigate. Yellow is explore, and blue is survival. And you roll these dice every turn. Then you have D8 and D6. Different dice are used in different situations in this game. So they are nice because they have hex here. So it's really cool. And it's also great that every player gets their own set of dice. And the last thing inside, we have all the cards. The setup of this game is very fast because there is a nice insert here, as you can see, and to start playing the game it's really quick. You just have to build the map, shuffle the cards, give every player a character sheet and a race, and you can start the game. So it takes more time to create the characters and think who would you like to be in the specific game. But it's not a game that you will waste 1 hour to set it up. So it's really cool. Here are these cards. Here are the fragments of the relics. So you can see sword 3 out of 3. For example, what do we have here? The sword 1 out of 3. So every relic needs 3 different fragments that you have to find and reforge to create the relic. Here are some bonuses, some story text. It's really nice. And this type of card here with the map are the destinations. So these are different quests that you have to do in order to get relics and some rewards. As you can see, there is not much art on the card. They look great, but there are no illustrations. The game is very story-based, and if you want to see a lot of nice art, you can find it in the storybook, but not on cards. On the campaign of the 4th game, Domain of Myrtanotis on GameFound, Jonathan, the creator of this game, he added an option to get some upgraded cards for all of the previous volumes with additional art. Because as you can see, here are the circumstances. So these are some specific things that can happen every round, and they are usually not very good for your heroes. Like you have enemies, events, sometimes you can find some treasures, but usually affliction, there are some bad things here. And you have enemies with different stats, but there is no art. So right now you can get upgrade for volume 1, 2 and 3, and the upgraded deck of cards will replace, I think, all the enemies here with cards, and you have nice illustrations of all the, you know, skeletons, giants, spider-kins and everything. So it's really cool. A lot of cards, as you can see. Of course, you will not see all the cards in one game, so there is a lot of replayability here. And here are all the power-ups, cards that you can get as rewards, and they will add specific bonuses to your abilities and skills and, you know, vitals. Like here you get +1 to your health and energy, +1 for defense. Again, a lot of cards. So this is the content of HEXplore It Volume 2. A lot of things, as you can see. Now let's go back to my chair, and I will tell you more about this whole series and about this specific volume. You've seen all the components, so now we can talk a little more about HEXplore It Volume 2 and about the whole series. I must say that I really love this game, and I love this whole series for a few reasons. First of all, this is a board game that is closest to an RPG experience that I have ever played, I think. I've played a lot of, you know, adventure games, fantasy games that tried to emulate the feeling of RPG, role-playing game, but I don't think any of these games really succeeded. HEXplore It succeeds in creating a board game RPG experience. You have so many options and so many things that you can do in this game that it's really mind-blowing. There is this main goal, like you have to defeat Adrimon, and this is something you know from the start of the game. You even know where Adrimon is located on the board, and if you wanted to, you could go to her on the first round of the game and fight her, but of course you will be defeated and you will die. So it makes no sense. But it's like, I've played a lot of RPG games when I was in high school, and I remember the game sessions where the game master, we were sitting in a, let's say, in a tavern, and he, you know, he told us that there is this quest where there is this bad guy, mage, someone, I don't know, Lich King, and our the group of heroes is hired to defeat it. But how we do it and what will we do, everything was up to us. And this is the same thing here, because you start the game and you have a lot of options. You have a lot of quests that you can complete. You have these magical artifacts that are left by the previous heroes who tried to defeat Adrimon, but they failed, and the weapons and the artifacts they used are shattered across the whole land, and you have to look for the fragments. And then when you have the fragments, you can reforge them to create this powerful weapons that will help you to defeat Adrimon. You have a lot of bosses that you can fight to gain experience and rewards. You can plunder cities, you can harvest magical seeds and exchange them for items in magical, fairy realm that you can visit through different portals, and you can meet different people that you will have to escort from place to place. There are tons and tons of options. You can focus on one aspect of the game, and you can, leave the other aspects of the game and don't follow them. It's up to you. It's up to you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The only thing is that you have a timer every round. You check a tracker on your battle board, a battle mat, and it shows you how strong Adrimon is. So the longer you play, the stronger Adrimon gets. So at some point you should try to hurry up and go and defeat her. But it's a big sandbox with hundreds of options that are waiting for you and different adventures. There is no campaign, there are no scenarios, every time you play the game, you set the game up, you know there is Adrimon somewhere and you have to defeat her, but how you will do it and what you will do in the current playthrough, it's all up to you. You have a lot of classes that you can choose from, you have a lot of races that you can combine with the classes to create unique characters. It's, you know, I'm astonished and I'm surprised how complex and how much variety is in this game, and really respect for Jonathan Mariucci, the designer of this game, for creating all of this, because this is volume 2. There is volume 1 and volume 3 available as well. Volume 4 was on GameFound, and Jonathan, I think, has 2 more volumes in plan, so you have 6 different games that share the same mechanics and share some rules, but all of these games play completely different. It's not that volume 2 and 3, the only difference is the final boss and location, because in volume 3 there is a desert and you walk on a desert land. Here is a forest, but the whole game is different because every game introduces so many new mechanics and so many new options and possibilities, and the ways the main boss behaves, that you feel that you in a way play a similar game, but on the other hand the game is completely different. There is one disadvantage of all the good things I told you about. It's the complexity of this game, because let's be honest, HEXplore It is a very complex game. You have the rulebook. It may be not big, but it's got 86 pages. So you have, a lot of things that you have to learn and probably remember when you play this game. The game initially seems more complex than it really is, because when you play it 1 time, maybe 2 times, everything feels more natural, and it's easier to play the game and focus on the story and on the options that you have. But when you get this game and you open the box and you see the rulebook, all the classes, you have this help sheets with various different aspects of the game. Like you have wayposts here, and here you have the battle sites that you can visit, entral cities that you can plunder and look for treasures. You have sentinels like Adrimon mechs, or monsters that guard the how they are called. There are so many different names. Battle sites. You have this Elven's Grove, the Fairy Realm that you can visit. So you have this help sheets, and you have this huge rule book, and you have a lot of abilities and text and keywords everywhere. And when I started to play this game, I think a few hours I spent only on reading things and trying to understand the concept behind this game, and trying to get this idea what to do and how to do it, because I knew that I have to defeat Adrimon, but I had no idea what's the best way to level up and what's the best way to get new gear, and how can I really become more powerful to have a chance to fight her. So there's a lot of learning. It's fun because you have so many options, but it's a lot, and there's a lot of looking in the rulebook and finding specific things during your gameplays, a lot of keywords that appear here and there. Every character, every class that you play is completely different from other classes. Every class has got unique abilities and unique options, unique stats. So really, tons of things to do. And if you think it's a lot, then you get this return to the Forests of Adrimon expansion that adds more cards and classes and things you have in the base game, but it also introduces new things, like you have this traits that you can add to your character. And there is also an option to play as Adrimon against other players, so you've got completely new play option, 1 versus many, and 1 player plays as Adrimon. The expansion comes with a whole new deck of cards that you use as a villain, and you know, try to defeat the players, and the players try to defeat you. So another options in this expansion, then there is this small expansion called Living Card Deck, and Jonathan, the creator of this game, has this idea that a few cards in the base game, they have the QR code on them, so you don't get the quest on the cards, but you can scan the QR code, and you can visit a special website that will show you different quests every month. So he added, I think, 30 or 40 additional quests and things to the base game through the QR code. But you can also get a physical deck of cards, so you don't have to scan the QR code and use your mobile to get the quest. You can get a living card deck with all the additional quests. So there's so many things inside that it's awesome. I have become a huge fan of this game. I've played the prototype of Volume 4 once. Not once, a few times, but when it was on GameFound. But I had to send it back to another reviewers. So this is the first game I own as, it stays with me here in my house. So I can play it and, play with it, have fun with it. I can read the rulebook, study every card and everything. And I'm in love with HEXplore It. I think it's one of these games that will stay in my collection. I will probably try to get the remaining volumes. Volume 4 I will get will be sent to me next year when it's released. I can't wait for the Volume 5 and 6, and I'm really curious what ideas will Jonathan have for the remaining games from the series. If you like RPG, if you like fantasy and adventure game, you should definitely try it. Buy it, get it, go to your friends that have it and play it, because it's really a very, very unique game. As for solo mode, you can play with one character or you can play with more characters. If you play with one character, there are special rules that will make the game a little easier, because playing with one character is, not easy. Not easy at all, so you have a few rules that will help you. In the rulebook you also have different play modes. You can play a faster game when you will get more experience, but Adrimon will be also more powerful sooner in the game. You have a family mode where you will get even more bonuses, and it will be easier for you to level up and get new gear and new items and everything. So if you're playing the game for the first time, or you want to play, I don't know, with your maybe kids or inexperienced players, you can use this family-friendly mode. If you think the game is too easy, you can adjust the difficulty, and every battle and boss and encounter can be even more difficult than it is. So you have a lot of options to customize the game. I know, you can visit the GameFound campaign still. The campaign is over, but I think you can still late pledge for all the games from HEXplore It series. So you can visit the GameFound campaign for Volume 4, and I think it's the best way to get this game, because the prices in retail are much higher than the prices on Jonathan's campaigns. So I will leave the link to GameFound in the description of this video. Like the video if you like it. You can hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel if the content I'm making is something you are interested in. You can visit me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. I will also leave links to all my social media profiles in the description of the video. And thank you for watching. The video was long, but this is a huge game, so it's not possible to talk about it in 10 minutes. But thanks for your patience, and see you next time. Bye bye.